If there's one thing made clear by this channel, it's that I play guitar. I've played for the better part of my life and it's been great, but I have no clue how the combination of wood and wires turns into this instrument. That's why for the price of 200 Australian dollars, I've bought a guitar making kit to see what's behind the sorcery. I opted for a telly style guitar that has a poplar body and a rosewood neck, along with 2 humbuckers, which is pretty uncommon for a Telecaster. This kit comes with the electronics pre-soldered, only needing you to plug them into each other, which is pretty handy because I do not know how to solder. And the kit even comes with strings. All in all, this is how the kit looks, fully unboxed. Unboxing the parts is all good and well, but how do I actually build this thing? Well, it turns out this kit has a manual, and they recommend to spray an aerosol finish onto the body for protection. Before putting any finish on the guitar, I need to clean the body. Google recommends a weak solution of water and dishwashing soap to do the trick. This thing came out of the box pretty dusty, so it's a need for a good clean. While cleaning the guitar, I noticed the surface was quite rough, so I gave it a quick sand before spraying the finish onto the body. Now this was the first time I've sprayed any type of varnish, so you can tell I was doing a shocking job by the results shown the next day. What the hell? I sanded out all my mistakes and took a more careful approach, by spraying the sides of the guitar and then the front and back. After a third and final sand and spray, the guitar was looking alright. You can see how much darker it became comparing to the headstock. Now that the body's done, I started installing the hardware into the headstock. The tuning pegs were pretty straightforward, just needing a simple hand screw with a washer underneath to connect the front and back parts, along with a screw on the back. Once the tuning pegs were done, it was onto the string trees. It seemed pretty straightforward at first, just screw the thing down, right? Well, I realized it was not supposed to be flush with the neck.
Oh, hell no, man.
Good thing I had a guitar with a similar string tree setup, so I realized I was missing a washer piece underneath. The neck and headstock is looking good. I now just have to attach it to the body. This was pretty straightforward. I just had to put the massive screws into the pilot holes along with the back plate on. Now I had to install the bridge, pickups, and pickguard. The pickups came connected to the bridge and pickguard, making it look easy to install on paper. But the pickguard seemed impossible to fit in place. I'm not sure if I screwed something up, but this thing seemed completely off. I ended up sanding the part of the guard that touches the neck until it fit. Once everything fit, I screwed it into place and began connecting the pickups to the volume knob and pickup selector. After connecting everything, I found a loose black cable. It turns out it's the grounding cable, which when put in place, reduces unwanted noise. After finding this out, I quickly went outside to test for myself. Yeah, I can still hear the voices. When I came back inside, I took the bridge off and routed the cable properly, letting the wires stick out and placing the bridge back on over it. Once the electronics were all set up, I could screw down the volume knob and pickup selector. After admiring my work, I screwed in the input jack and quickly rewarded myself for my amazing effort. I then put the strap holders on and put the little bullet looking things in the back. Everything seemed to be done and I started putting on the strings. After playing with this thing for 5 seconds, I realized something while bending the strings. It felt like sandpaper. I took off all the strings, taped the fretboard, and using the finest steel wool my local Bunnings could supply, I sanded the frets. The steel wool gave the frets a good shine, but also left millions of these tiny metal shards. Then after a restring, adjusting the bridge height and setting up the intonation, this thing was finally done. So was building your own guitar worth it? Yes, it was a very rewarding experience that taught me a lot about not only how to assemble the different parts, but also how to set up a guitar more specifically to my liking. If you're able to tinker with your own guitar, like changing the strings, adjusting the truss rod, and lowering and raising bridge height, you should have minimal problems assembling a kit like this yourself, so I highly recommend giving it a go.